section that we're going to do for this particular unit is on Cycles of Matter, Section 3-3, Part 1. More than 95% of the body is made up of just 4 elements. And those 4 elements are oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. So once again, more than 95% of the body is made up of just 4 elements: oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. Recycling in the biosphere, and first we're going to have to define what recycle means. Matter is recycled within and between ecosystems. Now, you know what the term recycle means. It means to use something over and over again. So when something is recycled, it means it's just used in a different form. So it's neither created or destroyed. Matter, elements, and chemical compounds are passed from one organism to another through what's called the biogeochemical cycle. And if we break up the word, bio stands for life, and geo stands for earth, and then I think you know what the chemical part stands for. So the definition of a biogeochemical cycle connects, once again, the biological or the living portion with the geological, which is the land portion, and then the chemical aspects of the biosphere. Biological systems do not use up matter, they transform it. So once again, this is a key. Biological systems do not use up matter. They transform it. And transform, of course, means to change. Biogeochemical cycles pass the same molecules around again and again within the biosphere. So once again, in the biogeochemical cycles, nothing is created or lost. It's just used in a different form. And if we think about a cycle, or we look at a cycle is never ending. And in a cycle, there is no beginning and no end. The first cycle that we're going to talk about is the water cycle. Water moves between the ocean, the atmosphere, and the land. So if we look at this diagram, it moves from the ocean to the clouds through the process of evaporation or the process of transpiration. And I'm going to define each of those terms on the next slide. The formation of clouds is called condensation. And when water falls from the clouds, that process is called precipitation. Once it falls from the clouds and reaches the land, the water then can run off into lakes or streams or rivers. It can also seep down or go down into the earth from the land or from any type of body of water. And then it can either go into the ocean or lakes or rivers sometimes and then come back out through evaporation, or the roots in any of the plants can then take up the particular water and then once again transpiration happens. So we're going to go through each of the steps of the water cycle so that you know exactly how this works. Now I'm just going to start at a particular spot. You can start anywhere because a cycle does not have a beginning or an end. So water molecules enter the atmosphere as water vapor when they evaporate from the ocean or other bodies of water. The definition of evaporation is the process by which water changes from liquid form to atmospheric gas. The other way that water can enter the atmosphere is through a process called transpiration. And transpiration is water evaporating from the leaves of plants. So transpiration is water evaporating from the leaves of plants, and evaporation is where it's coming out of bodies of water. During the day, the sun heats the atmosphere, and as it gets warm, moist air rises and then it cools. Water vapor condenses, so there is your condensation, to form clouds. So condenses means as it cools, it forms clouds. And then water returns to Earth in the form of precipitation. The four types of precipitation are rain, snow, sleet, and hail. On land, the precipitation runs along the surface of the ground and enters a river or stream that carries the runoff, so there's your next term, runoff, back to an ocean or a lake. Rain seeps, and there's your next term, seepage, seeps into the soil and then can become groundwater. And finally, water in the soil enters plants through the roots, and the water cycle begins all over again. And this process is called root uptake, which leads to the process of transpiration. And that concludes section 3-3, part 1.